and then I'll share screen and go to my browser. So that means that there's a share. That means that this gets recorded so that you can see the words that we're going through. So, but I'll just go through that list. Yeah. So, does anybody know what this word means? Jingoism. I actually discussed it on the group as well in the last couple of days, and some people answered it. Does anybody know what it means? Jingoism or jingoistic?
I have to be honest. This is the first time I hear that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So let's just look up this word together then. So jingoism. Let's hear it sounded.
Jingoism.
Jingoism.
Jingoism
Is defined as extreme patriotism, especially in the form of aggressive or warlike foreign policy. The popular jingoism that swept the lower middle classes. So you'll notice that it's derogatory, right? Derogatory. Do you know what derogatory means? Anyone?
No.
Okay. Derogatory means it's saying something bad about someone, right? If a derogatory comment is a comment that puts you down in some way. So if I said, Wenjing, you're really small.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a derogatory comment, right? Because I'm not saying it in an admiring way. I'm saying, you know, you're short or whatever, you know. Or if I said somebody was really stupid, hey Eva, you come over to me is really stupid, right? Now this is obviously just, I'm not saying this for real. Obviously, this is just for illustrative purposes. But if I said that, I, as a speaker, would be putting you down, negative comments about you. And so that's what a derogatory comment is. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So jingoism. So it's not like patriotism where somebody is sort of like standing up for their country. The Americans always talk about this. Americans talk about he's a true patriot, right? That's what they always say. Yeah. He was especially somebody who died. Yeah. You know, they say, he was a true patriot, right? So that's seen as positive to be a patriot, right?
Okay.
Yeah. You know, standing up for their country and everything like that. That's generally seen by the Americans. British people don't talk like that. We don't talk about being patriots, you know. We just don't talk about it, right? We do expect people to be patriotic, right? You know, i.e. to be supportive of their country. You know, I personally have a view, well, I'll think out loud here. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean that I think that people from Britain or Scotland or Ireland are better than somebody from another country, from Indonesia or China? No, not at all, right? It's just you guys were born where you were born. Wenjing's born in China. I was born in Ireland. But, you know, we're just from different parts of the world. So I personally don't believe in being so patriotic that it means that I put down people from different, you know, because I believe we're all fundamentally the same, right? Fundamentally, we're the same. We come from different gene pools, you might say, but fundamentally, people are people, right? No matter what the color of our skin is, no matter what our native tongue is, we're fundamentally people, right? So getting back to jingoism, or being jingoistic. It's not ultra common, but it's certainly seen as being so patriotic to your country, nation, that you're like, you know, instead of being balanced, right? You know, you're often an extreme, you're an extremist. And you know, would put down other countries and would try to do harm to other countries and that kind of so that's what jingoism is. All right.
So teacher, the differences between patriotism is more positive than jingoisms, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, okay, so we'll move on then. Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you've learned something already, right?
Yes.
Right. So here's an expression. The powers that be. The
The
powers.
powers that be.
Yeah. Does anyone know what that means?
No.
Okay. All right. Was somebody going to guess? No, that's fine. Right. The powers that be. Let's see what the web says. The powers that be is the authorities.
The authorities.
Yeah.
Powers
It's another way of saying the authorities, the government. Right. Like, so a statement using it might be, I could say, because of the current geopolitical situation, I really hope Britain supports the Ukraine. Yeah. Now I could say that as an individual, as an aspiration. I hope, right? But then I could add, but what really matters is what the powers that be decide to do.
authorities.
See that?
The powers that be. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, I would be supportive of Ukraine personally, as most of the world is. However, what really matters is what the powers that be decide to do. So I, as an individual, can have very little influence. But the powers that be, i.e. the government, Boris Johnson and his government in London, they can decide to give financial aid. They can decide to give moral and political support and so on. Yeah. So I'm using the powers that be to reference those in authority. It's just another way of saying those in authority.
Okay. 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 The powers that we are assessing the situation. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Are you okay with that,
Okay.
Wenjing?
How about how
Yeah.
to use it? How to use it at the sentences?
Okay. All right. Powers that be in a sentence.
The examples?
Yeah.
Okay. Students wanted to have.
Students wanted a big party, but the powers that be didn't approve. So the powers that be in that context would be those that are running the university.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be didn't approve.
Make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So.
So it's not always the government of the country. It's any kind of authority, you know.
But okay, but at these examples, why the powers that be didn't? This is the be meet didn't. I think be always following with the not is what like
Yeah, it's a verb. It's a verb. It's a
is.
verb to be. I agree. I agree. Right. I agree.
Okay.
However, it's not using it as a verb there, because basically powers that be is an expression.
Okay.
Okay. And the expression is a noun. I'm not using to be in the sense of the verb, you know, I am.
Yeah.
I'm not using it as a verb, right? So powers that be, those three words on their own are almost like a new word. Right?
Okay.
That means the authorities. Because if I re-said that sentence like this, but the authorities didn't approve, it would make sense, you see? And so it does make sense, because powers that be is just a synonym, you might say. The powers that be is a synonym for authorities.
Yes. Okay. Okay. That is idiom, right?
Idiom. It's an idiomatic
yeah,
expression.
That's
You got it.
idiom. Okay. So for this idiom, it's a special rules, not like follow it with am, is, are, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Good. What do you do, Eva? What's your job?
I'm psychologist. I'm a child psychologist.
Very interesting.
Okay, thank you.
Your ability in English is very good.
Thank you. But I have to improve it because I needed to join some workshop and English international course. So.
All right. Yeah. No, but you're good. Right. Okay. So this is another expression I'm going to teach you. Right. Skin in the game.
Okay.
Does anyone know what this means?
Skin in the game.
Skin in the game, like
it's another idiomatic expression. It has a very specific meaning.
Okay.
So let's look it up.
Okay.
To have skin in the game is to have incurred risk, monetary or otherwise, of being involved to achieving a goal. In the phrase, skin refers to an investment, literal or figurative, and game is the metaphor for actions in the field of play under discussion. The aphorism is particularly common in business, finance, gambling, and it's also used in politics. Right, so what we'll do is we'll look up skin in the game in a sentence. Show some examples. Have a personal investment in an organization undertaking and therefore a vested interest in its success. How do you use the phrase skin in the game? American English, especially business, is to take an active interest. Yeah.
So this is
right, here you go. Here's an example. Right, here's an example. If you want to find a company that is truly motivated to succeed, find one where all executives have skin in the game. That's a perfect example. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So what it means is skin in the game there says that they are invested in some way. They really wanted to succeed. And the reason they really want to succeed is maybe they're an owner or a part owner of a business. They've got shares in the business and so on.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, okay. It's a bit, but interesting.
Yeah. So here's another example. Here's another example. If you want someone to make efficient choices, they have to have skin in the game.
Yeah. This expression is first used by.
So in other words, if they make a choice that incurs cost for the business, it's going to involve cost for them, right? Skin in the game. Oh, this expression was first used by the US investor Warren Buffett to describe a situation in which senior managers own or buy shares in the company that they manage, so they've got personal interest in the company's success or failure. So the point here is if I'm just a manager in a company, you know, I might suggest lots of things. We need to do this, we need to do that, right? And those things incur costs. And I can say that, but I've got no skin in the game. It's no skin off my back is another way of saying it as well. Or skin off my nose. Skin off my nose.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I got it. Okay.
Right. It's no skin off my nose or off my back. Informal, usually spoken with emphasis on my to indicate that one is not offended or adversely affected by something. It's no skin of my nose if you don't want dessert, which means I don't mind, right?
Okay,
so,
okay.
So this is different from skin in the game. This is
Yes,
different from skin in the game, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
No skin off my nose or off my back, right? I don't mind.
I don't mind. I'm curious. Where is the idiom, this idiom come from, and then it's very different meaning. I mean, this is very idiom or phrases in English is very difficult for non-native speakers because it's a crazy to learn some words that not connected with the really meaning.
I know. I agree. I agree. It's weird. I know. And to be honest with you, most of us Brits don't know either, right? We just know what it means because you've heard it so many times, and in the context from your child. Like, you know, like this is another one, the skin of one's teeth. Now this one is an interesting one because it comes from the Bible, right?
Oh.
Yeah. So in Job 19, it says, I escaped with the skin of my teeth, right? It says that in Job 19, verse 20, right? So, so therefore, because the English Bible was written in 1611, right? It was translated from the original languages. And it became very popular in England. So the only book that people had in their home in those days was the Bible. Yeah, it was the only book, right? Because remember, it was only in the 1500s that the printing press was invented. Before that, before the printing press and Gutenberg in Germany and so on, every book was handwritten, copied. So if you had a book and I wanted a copy of it, I need to get your book and sit and write it out, right? And most people didn't even have the skills to write. Most people couldn't write, right? In fact, most people couldn't even read. To read, you had to be educated, and there was only a small number of people that were educated back then. All right. So anyway, so the first book that became printed was the Bible in English, and so that's the only book that people had in their house. So a lot of English expressions come from the Bible, in actual fact. And skin of my nose is one of those things, right? Or skin of my teeth, right? So by the skin of my teeth is I just made it. So I could say, Alida just made the class by the skin of her teeth. Hi, Alida.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. What time is it in Colombia this morning?
Now I am not in Colombia. Now I'm here in Vienna.
You travel a lot. You need to.
Yes, now. Only until the next week.
Right, very good. I'm jealous. You're getting to travel all around. We need to have a separate catch up, just you and me, and you need to tell me what you're up to. Right. So Alida is normally from Colombia, so I wasn't expecting her at this time. So I said what I said there. I abused her slightly by saying you just made the class by the skin of your teeth, right? In other words, she just made it. She just made it. So that's what the skin of one's teeth means, right? Or like to jump back to the sort of geopolitical situation. There's a number of Ukrainian refugees, and they've managed to escape their country by the skin of their teeth. They've just escaped, right? It was very close, but they've managed to escape. And I've also heard this morning, I was reading in the newspaper, there's a lot of Russians are leaving Russia and they're going to Georgia, or because the planes are all not taking off, they're either crossing land. So they're either going to Finland, where there's a border, or they're going to Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So they're escaping by the skin of their teeth. Right. Just so we've learned skin of my teeth. It's no skin of my nose or no skin of my back means the same thing, right? Which means I don't care, right? I don't care. That's what that means. That's a different meaning.
Yeah.
And the other one we learned was skin in the game, right? Which is, again, it's a different meaning again. Skin in the game means I'm invested in something. I'm really, you know, I really want to succeed. And I wanted to succeed because somehow it would hurt me financially if it nearly always is that sense, right? It hurts me financially if the enterprise we're talking about does poorly, or I do well if the enterprise does well, right? Personally. Yeah. So skin in the game. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Next expression I'm going to teach you is a steal. A steal, right? Now, steal is a verb, right?
Steal.
Steal is a verb, right? This word here, right?
S-T-E-A-L.
Yeah, S-T-E-A-L, right? So, you know, I stole something, or I'm going to steal something. To steal is the infinitive, right? To steal. So I'm planning to steal. I'm going to rob a bank, say, right? I'm going to steal £1 million, right? Right. Okay. Now, because I'm really a criminal, you see, I've got to be masked. Now, so that's a verb. We all understand that that's a verb, to steal, right? Right. So to steal. There you go. Take another person's property without permission or legal right and without intending to return it. Thieves stole her bicycle, right? There's another interesting meaning here, right? Which has got nothing to do with steal in that sense. It's to move somewhere quietly or surreptitiously. He stole down to the kitchen, right? That's an interesting alternative meaning for that word. You know, I stealed away in the corner of the library. You know, so I'm sort of removing myself from busyness. Is to steal away. Yeah. Leave furtively and stealthily. Slip away. Sneak away. Sneak off. Sneak out. So there was a big party going on, and when Jing was not feeling very sociable, so she stole away. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Now, what I really want to teach you is not that meaning, but is a steal.
Yeah.
Now
It's a
I'm
noun.
using steal as a noun. Yeah.
Yes.
So
It's a noun. Yeah.
it's a noun. Does anybody know what it might mean?
Yes. Yeah.
What does it mean?
Noun.
It's related to the meaning of steal. It's related to it, right? But if I say something is a steal, I mean it's a bargain, because I got it so cheaply that it was as if I stole it. So, for example, in the summer, last summer, I bought a motorcycle off eBay. I found it on eBay and I bought it, and it was an absolute steal. What does that mean? Did I go and steal it? No. I bought it with real money, but it was very cheap, and it was a steal.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go. Bargain, informal, as a noun, using steal as a noun. It's a bargain. At £5.95, at £59.95, it's an absolute steal. That was the very expression I used, right? Like, because people
Mm.
say that a lot here.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah.
It's like promotion.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Excellent, Alida. So for example, hey, I quite fancy traveling to China, and I found these flights for £250 return to Shanghai. It's an absolute steal.
Okay,
Mm.
okay. Mm.
Wenjing would be very happy if that was true, because I would go and visit her.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
A
Okay.
steal. A steal. Right. Good. Right. So change topic now. Toe to toe.
By two.
Toe to toe. Now everybody knows what your toe is, right? Your big toe, right?
Yeah.
What would toe to toe mean? Anyone?
Toe to toe.
So think about this as, you know, when boxers are fighting, they stand opposite each other. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They are toe to toe, aren't they?
Yeah. It's
So
like
that's the image to have in your mind to understand the meaning of toe to toe. Standing directly in front of one another, especially in order to fight or to argue. So see, normally in normal human behavior, we don't stand opposite each other, right? Like, you know, if I would stand opposite you, I'm going to do two things. I'm either going to hug you because I haven't seen you in ages. If I met up with Wenjing next week, I would give her a hug, see, because I haven't seen her and I know her. She used to work for me. We're friends, see? So I would stand opposite to give her a hug, yeah? And embrace. Hi, Wenjing, lovely to see you. Alida, I've never met, but if I saw Alida, if I went to Vienna, I would stand in front of her and I would give her a hug because we kind of know each other through classes here for the last 7 or 8 months, right? That's one reason why you would be opposite. The other reason you'd be opposite is if you're going to fight, right? But in normal human relations, we don't stand opposite each other, right? We're normally side by side. We walk down the street. We go walking side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if we are opposite each other, we're more at a distance. Let's say we go for a coffee, we go to Starbucks. You have a latte and I'll have a cappuccino. We sit down. We're separated by a table. We're not really close. There's a certain distance there. And generally, people don't like us to encroach in one another's what's called private space. You know, we don't like it when somebody's really close to us, unless they're family. Like a child, you bring a child onto your knee, right? They're in your personal space. But you won't bring an adult into your personal space unless you're being intimate or unless you're going to fight, okay? Now, toe to toe is the expression that you use when it's going to be a fight, right? So like some people, you know, if a man threatens another man, he might go right up to almost nose to nose, right? And he's sort of trying to stare him down, and, you know, they're trying to threaten through looks and so on. That is being toe to toe. He stepped closer until they were toe to toe. To make it more fun, get the Woody car and let the two of them race toe to toe. Deirdre stopped only when they were toe to toe and leaned into him, needing the heat and solidness of his body to quiet her distress. So you see that those examples cover the sort of gamut, the range of meaning of this expression. So here, it's probably violence that's going to ensue. And here it was affection. Look at this one. His eyes flashed and he hurried to stand before him with her back craned back to meet his gaze, toe to toe with the beast. Here's an act of bravery. She neared him as she spoke until she was toe to toe with the massive man and glaring up at him. So here is a female who is assumingly, we assume, being threatened by a large male guy, but she's not afraid. And so she goes closer until she's toe to toe, right? She's right opposite him. Very brave. Right. I think we've done that one to death. Is everyone clear on toe to toe?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
thanks.
For example, now in the world, Russia, Ukraine, it's toe to toe. Is, for example, in the world, no?
I missed the first couple of words you said, Alida. Do you want to repeat that, please?
Russia
Yes.
and Ukraine
Yes.
now is toe to toe.
Exactly. Exactly. You're a fast learner.
Okay.
Excellent. Yes. Exactly. Okay. Right. I'm going to move on now.
Okay.
What does it mean to internalize?
Internalize is you put something deep inside, deep
Yes.
inside, internalize.
Yeah.
Meaning in the garbage.
To accept or absorb an idea, opinion, belief, so that it becomes part of your character.
Yeah, internalize. Yeah.
So it's not just,
Mm.
it's not the idea of knowing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's to internalize it. So
Yes.
you might say, do you know about communism, Alan? Right. And I could say, yeah, I know what it is. Have you internalized it? No, because I am not a communist, right? I don't believe in that philosophy. I believe in freedom, right? People should be free to have their own opinion and express ideas, right? I'm a big believer in that, right? So I have not internalized that, right? Here's another one. You're a psychologist. You're a child psychologist. Here's a psychology example. If you internalize your emotions or feelings, you do not allow them to show through. You think about them. Many women tend to internalize their anxiety and distress.
Yes.
See that?
Yes, we all. Yeah, we always use this.
Yeah, so that's a good example.
It's very familiar in psychology term.
Yeah, yeah. This is a different, the financial example is quite different. I'm not going to that. But this is the main idea here, to accept an idea. It's quite important when we're learning these English concepts and English words and stuff like that, we internalize it. We don't just read it. We want to internalize it, really understand them, so that when the opportunity comes around, we can express these ideas and thoughts. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that's internalize. So we say internalize, and we also say internalized it. I internalized it. Which really means I really understood it. But it's more than understood it. It's like going to affect my behavior as well. I internalized it. A very similar kind of word idea is this: ingest. ingest. So I'm using this word idiomatically. But before we talk about the idiom, let's talk about the meaning in normal thing. What does it mean to ingest something?
What? Ingest. Ingest.
Yeah, ingest. Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody know? Okay, that's fine.
No.
Right.
It's like swallow on or
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Right. So to ingest is to take food, drink, or another substance into the body by swallowing or absorbing it.
yes.
Right.
Okay.
So here's an example. Lead will poison anyone if enough is ingested. Lead as in the metal. Yeah. Yeah. Make sense?
Yes.
So that's what it means to ingest. However, idiomatically, we use it like this: to absorb information. He spent his days ingesting the contents of the library. So here we're using the physical eating idea and extending it to mental, right? I'm mentally trying to absorb something, not just food, but so you guys are trying to ingest the idiosyncrasies of the English language.
Okay.
And even us neither struggle with it. Because there's so many bizarre rules and different ways of saying things. And that word there, lead, is different from the word lead, L-E-A-D, pronounced the same, but sounds different. Because I hope you trust me not to lead you astray. See? Lead and lead are two different words, although they are spelt the same, they're spoken differently. Lead is the heaviest metal, I think.
Yeah. Biggest.
Right? So
Yeah.
ingest. Have you all ingested that word?
It's almost the same with digestion. Digestion. It's
Digestion. Yeah. So digestion.
Yeah.
So digestion. Yeah. And indigestion is another good one.
Yes.
You know, to digest is to break down food. And so the idea there is the ingesting is the eating. The digesting is the stuff that happens inside you, where the food is converted to whatever the body needs, fat and carbohydrate and vitamins.
Okay. So ingest is before before it turn to our body.
Yeah, ingesting is the going in the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Digestion is what's happening inside.
Yeah, okay.
And if you suffer from indigestion, so indigestion. So if I went my trip to Shanghai and Wen Jing took me around some of the street markets and I had some of the food, if I ingested some of the food, I might end up with indigestion because it's so spicy. I'm not used to it. Indigestion is pain or discomfort in the stomach associated with the difficulty in digesting food. So if I'm not used to too spicy stuff, like I don't know what food you eat in Indonesia, but if it's but I know what Chinese food's like, and I know what Thai food is like. I have no idea what they eat in Colombia. Alida will need to tell me or show me. But I don't know what you eat in but if you eat spicy food, I might suffer from indigestion. Yeah, so
Okay, I remember. I want to take you to eat some spicy food.
Okay. All right.
In Colombia, this word in Spanish is llenura.
right?
Genera.
Same idea. All right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So we've all internalized this word and its associated meanings, right? We've internalized it.
Internalized.
And we have ingested it.
Ingest,
But-
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Is like ingest in general is synonymous that eat or
Yeah.
drink
Yeah.
in general.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%. You see, so Alida has internalized, understood, and is now coming out with other examples and can see the synonyms, the obvious synonyms. But you wouldn't say eat about a concept typically. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you would ingest an idea, but you don't eat an idea. You say you don't eat an idea. I eat my breakfast shortly. When class is over, because it's coming up to 9 o'clock, I will eat my breakfast. I won't ingest my breakfast, although that is technically a correct thing to say. No one would ever talk about ingesting breakfast. I would eat my breakfast.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
However, exception. If somebody said, I was listening to this tremendous speech given by Alida on the history of Colombia, and you know, I was hanging on every word she said, and I just ate it up. See what I did there? I listened to every word she said and I ate it up. What I'm saying is I am actually using eating there for ingesting. And because I'm using it, and it's a very rare thing to say, it has very strong emphasis. I'm saying I really paid Alida attention. I ate it up. I ate up every word she had to say. That's very advanced English. That's super advanced English. Okay, so if you're talking in the general terms, I would say you ingest the ideas. Yeah. Ingest ideas. And you eat food, right?
Yes.
But ingesting food, you know, is a sort of technical term for eating. You ingest it. Yeah. Like, you know, you see these things that come out of South America, you know, where a snake goes and eats a whole other animal, you know, it somehow can swallow the whole animal. You know, you've seen these things. It opens its jaw and it eats something and you can see the shape of the animal inside it. And you might say, you wonder how that snake can ingest a pig, a whole pig, but it can. You would wonder how that snake, python, say, can ingest a whole pig. You would wonder at it, but it can do that. Okay, everybody happy?
Okay.
Going to move on to another word now, or another expression, which is this.
Next, watch this space.
Yes.
Okay.
Watch this space. Does anybody know what that means?
Waiting something or watching something incredible. Is this a guess?
No.
Or
No, it doesn't mean that. Good guess. I'm glad you're brave enough to guess, even when you've no idea, Eva.
I just to see the sentences because what's this space?
Yeah. So what's the space is idiomatic for wait until an announcement is made. Right, that's what it means. And I think it might come from the idea of a newspaper article. You know, it's going to be announced in the newspaper. you know, watch this space. So I could say, for example, Ukraine will beat Russia ultimately, even though they're less powerful as a nation. Watch this space. That's an example of that, right? Watch this space.
Okay.
In other words, just wait and see is really what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Okay, okay. Okay.
Further developments are expected and more information will be given later. The results of the competition have still to come through. Watch this space. See that? You see, it's very idiomatic. I'm not actually asking you to watch anything, right?
Watch this space.
Watch this space. I have news about a new job. Watch this space.
Watch this space.
I've told Wenjing already
Mm.
on WeChat.
I don't expect it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could say, oh, I hope to move to another country soon. Watch this space. Like, what do I mean? What I mean is I intend to move to another country, but I can't tell you just yet. Just I'm asking you to wait. Wait, and I'll tell you. Right. The information will be given later. More information will be given later. Watch this space.
Watch this space. Okay.
Okay. Very common.
Yeah.
Very common.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Here's another expression that is very common these days, which I don't actually like. I think it's overused, but I need to teach you it because it's used a lot, right? It's this expression. That being said, you heard that? Anyone?
That being said.
What?
What was that? What was
That being said.
Yeah, that being said. That being said. So this is used in an argument or a discussion, and it's like a pivot. A pivot. So let's talk about the geopolitical situation again, since it's on top of everybody's mind. Top of mind. There's an expression. Top of mind. I'll say that one in a minute. Come back to top of mind. I could say the Russian forces are far more powerful than the Ukrainians. They have more weapons. They have air power. They have tanks, yada, 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 right? That being said, I think Ukraine will still win. Now, you see what I did there? I made a statement, and then I said, that being said, and then I made another statement. So I've got two statements conjoined by a pivot, which was that being said. And there was a logical flow because I said something. Russia is very powerful militarily. That being said, in other words, even though that is true, Ukraine will still win, in my humble opinion. You see that?
It's like unfortunately.
No.
Oh no.
It doesn't mean unfortunately. It means a good guess though. It means let's look for a synonym. All things considered. However, however is the best example, I would say. Right?
Oh yeah, however, okay.
Or yet, yeah. So in other words,
teacher.
Or even so. Yes, Alida.
It's like when you say giving a conclusion of a point. Yes. Conclusion?
No, but
Like?
it's a good guess. No, it doesn't mean that. It means, remember, it's that being said.
It's like no matter how, no matter if it is. No,
Again, come again.
it's like no matter it is.
No matter. Yes, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Coming back to this point, it is like a conclusion actually, but
Okay.
the point is the conclusion you're coming to is like slightly unexpected. That's the idea. So I've said one thing, and you might draw a conclusion on what I've just said, but I'm going to draw a different conclusion, right? Because I'm going to say that being said. So my statement was, Russia is far more powerful than Ukraine. The natural conclusion that you might come to is Russia will win.
Okay.
But I'm going to say Russia will not win. And so in order to make that statement, I'm going to say that being said.
Okay.
Now, I could say the same thing. Russia is really powerful military. I could also say, however, Ukraine, I believe, will still win. See what I did there? However, is the pivot between two statements that don't maybe logically follow. And so I could say, however, or I could say nevertheless, or nonetheless, regardless, otherwise. These are all different ways of saying the same thing. But the one that is very popular these days is this one, that being said.
That being said, yes. Okay, got it.
Are you happy, Alida, now?
Yes, I got it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Right, here's a really good, now this is just an individual word, but it's really
Unfathomable.
unfathomable. Does anybody know what unfathomable means?
Unfathomable.
Right here, right. Let's work it out gradually. What is a fathom? Fathom.
Don't know this word.
Okay. So a fathom is this. Watch my arms, right? If I move my arms right out like this, you can't see them, but they're right out either side of me. The distance between this fingertip and this fingertip with my arms outstretched is a fathom. In olden days. And a fathom is used to measure the depth of the sea. How deep is the sea here? It's quite shallow. It's only 3 fathoms.
Oh.
See?
Yeah, I see. Like, yeah, this one.
So you don't measure depths of the sea in meters. That would be far too logical. You measure it in in fathoms. You see?
Yeah.
So it's got to do, the word fathom technically is, you know, I don't want some software. I want just another meaning.
Okay.
Right, but there it is. A unit of length equal to 6 feet, 1.8 meters, chiefly used in reference to the depth of water. Sonar says that we're in 18 fathoms. Okay, so everyone has got the core meaning. Yeah. Now.
Yeah.
What I want us to begin to understand is that you can use it as a verb, which means to understand. So the idea is fathom has got to do with depth. Oh, that's really deep. You see what she said there? That was really deep. And if something is really deep that you can't understand it, you might say it's unfathomable. It's unfathomable. I.e., you can't get down to the bottom of it. So, for example, if I was explaining to you the theory of relativity, I might struggle because I am not a physicist and I might find it unfathomable. Unfathomable. So, right. So how you might use this currently is, why did Putin invade Ukraine? I asked that question.
Okay.
You might answer it and say, I don't know. It's unfathomable. Meaning, you can't get to the bottom of that. It makes no sense. It's not logical. He's ruined his economy. He never had a reputation before, but he certainly trashed his reputation. It's unfathomable why he did that.
Okay.
Unfathomable.
Unmeasurable. Unmensurable.
Yeah, we would say the correct spelling is with an I rather than E. It's not unmeasurable. It's immeasurable.
Unmeasurable. Okay.
Immeasurable. But that means something different. That's like, how big is the universe? I don't know. It's immeasurable. Right?
Okay.
But unfathomable means something different. It means you just can't understand it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Here you go. Incapable of being fully explored or understood. Her gray eyes were dark with some unfathomable emotion. So she had an emotion, but somebody else couldn't understand the emotion, right? Of water are a natural feature, impossible to measure the extent of it. Mountains of unfathomable scale. There you go. So that's not to do with water now. It's just saying that mountain range. So if I was in Nepal, you might look at the mountains and say, this mountain range is just, it's just unfathomable. You can't take it in. Excuse me.
So it can use when to express something. Maybe if we ask about how beautiful what is this, to express our feeling, and then we answer by unfathomable. Can we do that? It's like it's so amazing and we can count it.
No.
Oh no. Okay.
No, not really. The idea of unfathomable is not amazing.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
So we
Yeah.
can use it for feeling expression, right?
Yeah. It's like,
Okay.
the idea is you can't understand it, right? You know, you just can't get it, can't get your head around it. It's unfathomable. And that could be, it could be a topic, you know, a subject that's difficult, like relativity. Or it could be to do with emotions, deep emotions that even you can't understand in somebody else, and they might not even understand in themselves. Oh, I'm really depressed. Why are you depressed? I don't know. Well, what started your depression? I don't know. You know, it's unfathomable. I can't understand it. See?
Oh yeah. Okay. 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 Yes, I got it. Okay. That's good. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you might
Okay.
use that in psychology. Right, there you go. There's a new one to introduce to your peers, your colleagues. I've got a new word for everybody.
Long story short.
Yeah, long story short. What does that mean?
Long story short.
Okay, no one knows, that's fine. So long story short means it's a statement that you would make if we are in conversation, right? We're in conversation and we're chatting about different things and we get to talk about our jobs. And I mention that I know Wen Jing. And Eva says, how do you know Wen Jing? She's in Shanghai. I could say in response to that, well, it's actually a long story, but long story short, she used to work for me over a summer back in Edinburgh in about 2017.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
So what I'm saying is, it's actually a bit of a long story.
Yeah.
However, I'm not going to tell you the long story, not right now.
Okay.
Not being secretive, it's just it's not appropriate at this time. So I'm saying, long story short, the shortened form of the story is she used to work for me. I've said it in one sentence instead of taking 5 minutes of your time to tell you all the history.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And all the mischief she got up to in Edinburgh, you have no idea.
Another example, if anyone asks me about my tribe in the Europe, I can answer a long story short.
Correct.
Okay.
And give a summary, a one sentence summary.
Okay.
I mean, how did you end up in Vienna? You could say, that was my question to you. You might say, well, long story short, I won a trip. Or I've saved up half my life for this trip. This is the trip of my lifetime.
Okay.
But I'll tell you about it another time, Alan. Is that okay? Yes. Since we're in class.
Okay. Okay, teacher, can I'm so sorry. I have to pick up my son.
Yeah.
So sorry.
And actually, I got so into the class today. I didn't realize the time, and it's 9:20, so I've been going for an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
So I really need to end. So what we'll do is, long story short, we'll just end here. So thank you for the reminder of the time. I didn't even notice the time going by. I was enjoying myself so much.
Oh yeah.
So next time, next class, which will be next Thursday, I'll pick up after long story short, and we'll teach you what it means to say lock, stock, and barrel. That's where we'll begin.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, teacher. Sure. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
And Alida, Joy.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Yes. Take
Yes,
care. Bye.
Thank you.
See you all
Bye.
now. Bye.
Bye, Alan.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
dear.
Bye, Benji.
Bye. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.